Greetings, one and all. It is sometime in the second week of March 2021. In these videos, we inquire into what the heck is the point? No, really, what's going on? What's the purpose? What's the meaning behind it all? So in these videos, we talk about the nature of the time. We explore and assign some meaning, some evolutionary purposes behind our collective experiences. And because this is so much the energy of the now, what's the point? This inquiring, this investigation, I'm wondering even what is the purpose or meaning behind creating these videos that's entirely on essential purpose and meaning. So here we stand in time. And at this particular time, in this video, I don't so much want to focus on technical dates and phrases, especially if there isn't much meaning behind the words. Pisces is a search for truth, the core essence of life. Are we tuned into it? Do we really understand? Are we really and inspired and fulfilled by a core sense of meaning? What does inspire us? One of my favorite quotations coming from the great Saint Sai Baba of Shriti, because there's multiple Sai Babas. I give to people what they want, so that way they will begin to want what I want to give to them. Sai Baba was renowned for being a miracle worker. He would do magical healings and make things appear out of thin air. But of course, this was not what he was really saying that is what he wanted to do. So the question is, do we really know what we need in life? The reality is our perspective and understanding is limited. There is so much beyond our control and so much we cannot see. So how do we form a relationship to that? If we cannot see the next rung on the ladder, where do we take our next step? Do we wait until we can see the next step, or do we take a leap of faith? Can we trust the next step is there, even if we cannot see it? Or will the pacing, rhythm, and momentum of the steps already taken carry us through? Welcome to the feeling, the experience of the most mysterious, enigmatic, and uncertain realm of the final sign of the zodiac. This is Pisces. Today, the sun is conjoined Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, in his own oceanic sign. Here we do not simply find ultimate purpose and meaning. We endlessly search for it. Here is the final sign of the zodiac. It is an eternal staircase. It is ever unfinished. There is a recognition that our life will be unfinished until we take our last breath, and then where we go, we don't know. So we have to surrender to a process, even when that process does lead us into a next step or direction that we cannot clearly see. The endless search for meaning. This is the authentic life of the mystic, full of longing, dripping with passion, compelled by discontent. There's something missing, there's something more, there's something deeper. It's not what we get on name face value. It's not what we see on the surface. This is the life, the eternal unfolding of the mystic. It is not the blessing of the mystic to receive the one-way ticket to God. It is to turn. It is to dance in the bliss, the ecstasy of love. Who understands love in this world? Who understands the union and the harmony between life and death? The union and the harmony, the bliss and the celebration between union and separation. Who understands love in this world? Love is a dance. Love grows through dancing. It is not simply our unification, being side by side, being one with our beloved, that allows us to have an experience of beloved. It is the separation between lover and beloved that allows for there to be an experience of lover and beloved, and therefore a possibility of love exists through the simultaneous occurrence of union and separation. This is a divine weaving and a divine dance at the root of all phenomenon, at the root of all relationship. We will become separate from all those that we love and care for. This is an inevitability. And yet love compels us towards union, togetherness, until that union and togetherness becomes too much proximity, too much union, too much togetherness, and we lose our individuality. We lose the sense of lover and beloved. Now I don't know where I end and begin. I don't know where you end or begin. And now where is the dance? Where is the celebration? Where is the love? Where is my lover? When we lose ourselves in an inauthentic, self-sacrificial, codependent, traditional, idealistic, Walt Disney fantasy realm of love, we lose the depth, the richness, the meaning, and the significance that is not just comfy, pleasant, and like spinning teacups, Walt Disney ride, ice cream, movies, first dates, is not love. That is adolescence. That is the beginning of meeting another person. The journey of love takes us into such inconceivable dimensions, so much further beyond what we thought was our capabilities to withstand our experience of the human being. It is not a one-way ticket to God that is the gift of the mystic. It's a dance. It's being spun around. It's being turned around. Dazed and confused. And this is not simply a meandering. This is the nature of life. We must reach out and sometimes plunge and sometimes grab a hold onto, or sometimes be grabbed onto, or sometimes be held to see what actually is that we cannot see. What is out there to be held, or to grab onto us, or to grab onto it, or is not there to be held? Spiritual disillusionment is an integral part of spiritual evolution. It's not one or the other. We have to go through cyclic periods of remembering and forgetting in order to understand what's true and what's not true, what is real love versus not real love, who is the other versus what we project onto the other, who are we actually versus what the other does project onto us. There is no relationship between human beings on this planet Earth that does not involve these cyclic periods of forgetting, remembering, disillusionment, in order to get into deeper and deeper understanding of what is love, what is togetherness, what is the purpose and meaning of our life, what are we actually doing together. Pisces is the search for meaning. Pisces is the ultimate void. There's so many crappy New Age projections on Pisces. Oh, Pisces is God, it's the spiritual world, it's love and light, and it is, and it isn't. Pisces is inconceivable. Our relationship to God is inconceivable. Our relationship to God is one of inconceivable simultaneous union and separation. It's not just one. It's not just love. There would be no experience of lover and beloved if it were all one. So guess what? It isn't. It isn't that simple. It isn't that easy, and that's not what true love is. as opposed to so many of the lost, empty, superficial fairy tales I have witnessed around me throughout my short time period being on this planet. Who knows what love is on this planet? Who really understands love here, now? And how often do we see this in relationship in a way that is truly finished, perfect, complete? I have yet to see it in this world, in that way. Pisces is not just the ultimate meaning carried through life on a cloud of angels. Pisces is also the ultimate void of meaninglessness. What is the purpose of life? Does it all matter? Is there a purpose? If there is inevitability. This is where Pisces becomes enormously tricky because, again, the mystic is on this eternal quest of searching in a way that's deeply inspiring and fulfilling. And yet it can also be agonizing. The agonizing is a part of the spiritual mystical path. When I see these amateurs and children judging other people for their level of pain and suffering being a reflection of their spiritual advancement, these people are morons. To think that our happiness and our content is a reflection of spiritual evolution is foolish, cheap, misleading. Who understands what love is on this planet? Not the people that say they have it and got it all finished and complete and squared away in the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids. When I experience that level of so-called stability and contentness, what I usually feel is a void of meaninglessness. It is not the agonizing through the void, searching for meaning that is a sign of failure or death. That is being fully alive. Agonizing in the void, searching for meaning is life. This is not an agony that strips us bare and naked and leaves us empty-handed. It is one that rips our heart and soul open to the deepest, most mystical, profound truths in life that go far beyond our understanding of moralistic pretense of good and evil and pleasure and pain and past and success and win and lose. That is the world of stupidity. It's not the mystical world, and it's not a world in which there is any iota of love. It is not the agonizing through the void, searching for meaning that is a sign of failure or death. It is being fully alive. The worst curse in life, far worse than death or disease, is spiritual apathy. The worst curse in life is the lack of a search for meaning. Lacking the agony that there should be something more, that there should be something deeper, is a curse far worse than death. It is the deceptive assumption that there is no greater purpose, and then we commit spiritual suicide. How many of those so-called content, happy, and fulfilled souls have killed themselves through giving up the search for meaning a long, long time ago and settling for just scraps, dust under the rug, pure meaninglessness, distraction, denial, avoidance, escapism. The agony for the search of meaning is what protects us from that curse far worse than death. In Pisces, we meet this ultimate seeming paradox, but really there is nothing similar about surrendering to the void in a search for meaning, like surrendering to the process of the sand mandala being created and the sand mandala being disintegrated in these overarching cycles of beauty, death, resurrection, beauty telling her story time and time again. There's nothing similar about surrendering to the void in the search for meaning. Like a sand mandala, like the ocean, forgiveness, letting go in a way that is authentically relieving liberating, authentically cleansing. The feeling that we get when we are by the sound of the waves of the ocean, that washing, that peace, that coming, that going, that dance, brings in the ocean of forgiveness. Letting go, surrendering to the process of life, surrendering to what we cannot see versus the giving up kind of letting go, where it all gets flushed down the toilet and we sit there watching it all go, because what's the point of it all anyways? Does it really matter? I mean, whatever. Any real human being, that is to say a mystic, will explore the greatest, most inconceivable depths of the heart through an exploration of ever-deepening purpose, through constant adjustments to where we experience apparent defeats. The exploration between what is the self-sacrificial type of giving up, the I'd rather not, it's not worth it, there is no purpose and meaning. It's easier to be absorbed or to absorb another person, or to join this group, or to sacrifice my individuality and join the hive mind. There's so many ways that this giving up type of self-sacrificing or suicide, spiritual suicide, takes place. And we see this sometimes deceptively celebrated as love or contentment or peace. So this is a seeming paradox, but it's not. There is no similarity between the surrender that is faith, in which we open up to that which we are connected to, that is bigger than just ourself, but we cannot see. That surrendering and that faith is where the cosmic circulation system pumps spiritual blood into our hearts by breaking down these limited conceptualizations of what's true or false, or what it is that's possible, or what it is that we're open to. This is why highly evolved souls understand that miracles are normal. Miracles aren't anything fancy or special or mind-blowing. Miracles are everyday common experience when we trust that which we cannot see, which is greater than just ourselves. Very, very different than this kind of, well, there's no point, there's no meaning, so we might as well just blah, blah, blah. We might as well just blah, blah, blah. This is spiritual suicide. Might as well just join the church. Might as well just be a good Christian. Is it? The surrendering process of being a real human being, which is to be a mystic, is a process of having our hearts repeatedly broken open. Again and again and again and again. You have our hearts splintered open. And the essence, the rawness, the truth, our true emotion, our soul's centerpiece, our real emotion comes out of our heart. This is the source of true prayer and true magic, is the emotion that comes from the heart. That is evoked by real experience, including very real heartbreaking experience. Disappointment, letdown. This is very authentic human experience. This is a painful experience. This is a heartbreaking experience. Those who are not experiencing this level of heartbreak, they have chosen spiritual suicide. When we choose the other path, to keep our hearts online, which is to keep our hearts vulnerable to breaking time and time again. And yes, we have to retreat to pick up the pieces. We do need healers. We do need helpers. We do need higher sources. Inevitably, to restore our heart. This is love. Love requires an openness to grace. Grace is what enters our life. When we keep our heart vulnerable and broken and open, grace enters our life. And grace sends medicines, comfort, the right people, the right support. Not necessarily when or how at the time that we see it, but this is the process. This is the cycle, the seasons, the annual experience of the life of the mystic, and this is what the mystic develops a deeply profound trust of. This is why the mystic can keep their heart vulnerable to being broken time and time again, because they've been there, they've done that, they know it's what they want. It's what we want. This is how you taste, experience, and have a life, as opposed to death. So choose life, my friends. Life is not all fun and games. Life is not all pleasant. Love is not all fun and games. Love is not all pleasant. The Divine Mother is not just compassion and not just holding her children's hands. There's a lot more. But it gets deeper, it gets richer, it gets more meaningful, and we do become more empowered by the raw force of love, the raw force of life. We do get to prove, come into understand, and be possessed by this raw force of life as we come to familiarize ourselves, develop a gradual taste for it, and take closer and closer baby steps to the fire, the flame. But it is a process of opening more, breaking more, rinsing and repeating, opening more, breaking more, rinsing and repeating. And this is the muscle, the workout of our heart that does open our heart to more and more compassion. And this is where miracles do become everyday reality. Now I am going to speak some astrology. Sun Neptune today, this weekend, is a new moon in Pisces, joining Venus and Neptune. So we've got the planets of love, Venus and Neptune, together in this new moon of Pisces. There will be themes with this new moon squaring asteroid Juno, the partnership asteroid, of ideals versus reality within relationship. And this is a very, very, very opportune new moon this weekend, the 13th. Sow a seed for union, greater meaning, deeper purpose, forming more fulfilling bonds, both earthly and otherworldly. This is a time to form a bond, a tether to those that support us on the other side. This is a time to form a connection to our soul family, which goes beyond those in their body. So, words cannot do justice for this new moon. Put in your love, your beauty, your spirituality. This is romantic. This is poetic. This is the invisible realm. Put your heart and your soul into this new moon. We are sowing a seed for authentic love. That is unconditional love. That is spiritual love, which is not to be found in the petty, mundane dramas and mishappenings of our human experience, which is there to be embraced, which is there to be celebrated, but not to become lost or absorbed to the point of losing our tether to our deeper heart, our deeper center, and our deeper truth. This new moon, we're sowing a seed for unconditional love, the tether of the heart, the spiritual world where we can feel supported through even the most challenging of life's trials. The specific incarnation and being that demonstrated for humanity in a time-based historical context what is the symbol of Pisces is Yeshua, Jesus Christ, through the actual crucifixion of a body, that is to say physical torture, while at the same time understanding and forgiving those that were responsible for the physical torture through the understanding that, yes, all of this is a part of the greater seasons and cycles of life, and there is deep spiritual meaning for even this. That spiritual meaning is the support that allows for any soul to be carried through such a torturous experience, clean through to the other side, and therefore be initiated into profoundly, incredibly inspirational, awesome, charged, raw power. This is the force of love. This is the force that allows for healing and miracles to happen as if it were everyday phenomenon. So put your heart and your soul into this new moon. This will sow a seed that will unfold tremendous healing potential, especially through the heart and especially through the mirror of relationship. Through this reflection, the mirror of the other. So much healing, forgiveness, openness to love, creativity, inspiration can unfold layer by layer by layer. We're unwinding, we're unknotting fantasies, ideals, codependencies, Codependency is the snare of any relationship. Any relationship does become pragmatically codependent in the sense that we don't have to do everything ourselves. There can be support out there from another person, and this is the exact same space that we are most likely to give away our power. To self-sacrifice and become dependent on a crutch or another person where we think we need, or we give away our power to become absorbed into another person or to absorb another person into ourself. Issues around boundaries are at the root of codependency. Authentic love requires a connection to inner resources. All of this unwinding of the unhealthy, self-sacrificing codependency patterns will bring us into connection to the source of true love, which is to be found within ourselves, which is to be found in all of life and all of experience, and not just one particular person or limited role identification. So a clear example of codependency is when we say, I need so-and-so. The most healthy and happy love is when we recognize that we get to appreciate so-and-so. We get to live with so-and-so. We get to share our life with so-and-so. And the fact that we don't need or depend on so-and-so is what allows for the depth, the intimacy, and the appreciation to be a millionfold times greater. We're finding connection and direction from the inside. This is a sow to seed in the most profound, spiritual, mystical way to get that direct connection from our own heart. Only then is true love possible. True love is not to be found out there in the world. It's not found to be giving up into some external duty or relationship or distraction. It is in our search for meaning that we discover this connection. This is our inner connection that allows for our most loving relationships to be those souls that we love through offering, support, and reflection into a mutual support of healing and evolution. We allow that to be a part of our lives through relationship, appreciation of the other. We're supporting one another in our own healing. That's true love. More on relationship, love, and healing in our next video on the full moon in Libra, which will be opposite Venus and Chiron. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very important announcement for those of you who made it to 27 minutes into this video. A brand new website, a brand new community, RasalilaCommunity.com. This is going to be a community of like minds, healers, artists, creators, innovators, pioneers. For those of you who are interested, this is going to be a new social media platform. Okay? Not Facebook, not Instagram, not owned by some major company, owned by myself. These are going to be all the cool cats who like to hang around me, and this is also going to be an opportunity to connect and share with like minds. This social media platform has a feature where you can connect with people in your local area. I'm going to be encouraging people to form groups. It is like Facebook where there's a community wall. You can post media, art, and of course we'll be talking about astrology. My Astro School will be a part of the community. There will be an exclusive forum, chat room, curriculum for the Astro School. There will be a special forum and group for my Q&A. Even though we're all in a search for meaning, every month I do a Q&A for my Q&A circle where you can bring in your birth chart and ask a specific question about astrology, your chart, or an experience you're having at this time. It may be one of the greatest opportunities I offer because it really demonstrates and proves the effectiveness of evolutionary astrology. I basically do a few dozen trigger fire, fast-paced chart readings based off of one question from everybody in the room, and we go through live. This is a live Zoom meeting, and this is a wonderful way not only to learn and see the effectiveness of evolutionary astrology, but also to create this circle of emotional support where we're seeing one another go through similar experiences at similar times. Astrology proves that we all are one, we are all interconnected, and at the same time, separate and individual. We get to celebrate all of this in this divine dance of love. I very much look forward to you joining my community where there will be much more continued connecting and sharing. And as always, I wish absolutely all the best to you and your beloveds. Take care.